Welcome back to Protecting Every Future's Kitchen Table. This is where we gather to talk about the really important stuff, family, financial protection, and everything that goes into it. I'm so pleased today to have Paul Quaranto, who is Chairman, CEO, and President of Boston Mutual, a 132-year-old company based in Boston, of course. He also, I'm delighted to say, is the chairman of the American Council of Life Insurer Board right now. So my boss, our boss, and we're delighted to have you here
Well, thank you, Susan.
to talk about the good stuff.
Pleased to be here. Yes.
Absolutely. Welcome to Protecting Every Future's Kitchen Table. So we'll get started here. In the last 2 years, there's been an increase in people getting life insurance. Can you reflect on why you think that is?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and I think, I think we had a tough stretch, obviously, with the pandemic. I think it set us back in so many ways, and it's really changed our lives going forward, and I think it will for a long time. I think one of the things that we realized as a society is just how important the benefits that we offer are, whether it's life insurance, whether it's disability insurance, any of the protections that we offer through this good industry. I think, and I think it really resonated with folks, sort of just good working folks out there trying to do something to provide some level of protection for their families. And I think it resonated with them just how important that is. And so I think it did sort of generate this sort of resurgence of interest in the products that we offer. And I think the industry has responded quite well. I think that I think people don't realize just how much we do as an industry for working families out there, people who are, just struggling to get by today, and that's getting harder and harder every day. So realizing that is out there, is available to them, I think we as an industry need to do a better job of explaining to people just the fact that is available. It's not as complicated as they think it is. It's not as expensive as they think it is, and I think we're doing a better job of that and need to continue on that charge. But I think people realize they need to do something on their own to ensure that there is security for their families, and the realization that is available and important, I think, has really resonated over the last couple of years.
So I'm a mom. We have a lot of parents that are part of our Protecting Every Future community. Why should parents be thinking about life insurance as part of their family protection plan?
Yeah, it's interesting. We've done a lot of work at our own company in terms of looking at the profile of our buyer, and we tend to serve the markets that we're talking about here, really, right? Very much, back to our founding, it was really about helping working American families. And we've seen over the past few years really an emergence of those moms being the policyholder and really trying to secure protection for their families. And I think that understanding the importance of that. So I think I think that we find more and more that moms are being challenged with all of those issues that families have to deal with in terms of making sure that they're not only living today well, but making sure that they're in a place to navigate what challenges life may throw at them going forward. But I think they've understood the importance of it, and I think we are doing a better job of educating both moms and dads really about the importance of it and the availability of it. So I think just worried about sort of the future, worried about the sort of environment that we live in today in this country, and knowing that we all need to take some ownership in security for our families that goes beyond just what the entitlement programs may provide. And I think that's a good thing for families and a good thing for this country. And I think we as an industry really are obligated to try to do more along that line. And I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah. So really, at the fundamental level, life insurance is protection for you and your family, right?
Right.
It's if something happens, you've taken the step to make sure there's that extra financial protection for the family, and it's the guarantee we provided as an industry that people don't always fully appreciate, but I think that's at the core of it. Can you explain more?
Yeah.
What's the guarantee? How do we make certain that people's families stay safe?
Well, it's a great question, and I think it's something that we need to do a better job of communicating, because I think we do provide guarantees. There are no caveats. There are no asterisks. If somebody makes a decision to purchase a life insurance policy, the promises that we make are to pay in the event of death, and there is a guarantee that that payment is going to be made. There are other elements to a life insurance policy in terms of some of the cash buildup that goes on within that can provide an opportunity for a policyholder to take some money out in the event of a financial challenge or in the event of funding a child's education or something. So there's a promise to deliver at the time of death for a family, and somebody is thoughtful enough to secure that coverage to help their family through a very difficult time. But again, along the way, there are other opportunities to take advantage of that policy with guarantees that is available to you. Those are the promises that we make that are really important. Recently at our company, our chief risk officer had made a statement to me that I thought really resonated and sort of puts into context what we're talking about here. And that is, every time you see a tragedy happen and a GoFundMe page has to be established, that was probably a missed opportunity for us as an industry to sell, or for that particular family to buy a life insurance policy, right? And so
because that's part of what the policy could take care of,
that's
right?
the guarantee that
Yes.
they would not have had to go through the extra angst, if you will, of having to secure the funds they needed to get through that time through a GoFundMe page. They would have a policy that would guarantee them the proceeds of that policy at the time of someone's passing.
I know you're a great storyteller. What's your favorite story of a moment when you really felt good about what you were doing because you made a difference to a family?
Well, the uniqueness of our company, and we tend to serve working families almost exclusively, mostly through our life insurance product. We're blessed in the fact that we insure probably upwards to 90% of the cities and towns of Massachusetts for their life insurance programs. And when tragedy strikes, whether it's police or fire, we've always gone out of our way to try to deliver a check the next day. And seeing families go through the difficulties that they do, and in the case of these deaths, they're often tragic. And I think it just speaks for me, not that we're not doing great work for families across, all occupations, and again, but it is very special to me that we can step up, and really speaks to the goodness of mutuality that we want to represent in all we do.
So you've been around as a company doing this for 132 years. And that's some serious credibility. Always delivering next day if you can.
Yeah.
That means you've gone through pandemics, Spanish flu, COVID, world wars, and a lot in between. So how does that work? What's it like to have that responsibility on your shoulders?
Well, I think it is. Well, I mean, we've got companies dating back 175 years. I think sometimes we consider ourselves newbies at 132 years. But I think it's the foundation of how this industry has been built. I think it speaks to the fact that we recognize this is a very long-term basis, that we are making promises to people, and that it is our responsibility to be prepared to deliver on those promises. So it's a long-term business. So we take very seriously our responsibility to be prepared to weather pandemics, whatever depressions, whatever life may throw at us, to make sure that we're there to deliver it, because that's the time when people often need us most. So I think the fact that the industry is very conservative in how it positions itself, I think the fact that we're well regulated by the states, I think also serves to validate that we're always focused on doing the right thing so that we can be sure that we're there to deliver no matter what's going on around us. And I think the industry has proven that it has that the wherewithal, if you will, to withstand these sort of shocks in our lifetime and continue to thrive. And I think that's one of the things we need to do a better job of as an industry, is just communicating to good working folks out there that we are available to them with products that can secure themselves. I mean, a lot of the people we serve don't necessarily have the wherewithal to have estate plans, but we give them the opportunity to do something that they feel they need to do to provide a level of protection for their family, whether it's life protection or disability or some indemnity type products that help with their medical plans and the gaps and deductibles. I mean, that's all available out there to them, and it is affordable. And I think it's important that they know that, because I think more and more people need that level of security in their life. I mean, there's enough stress on people without worrying about the unknowns that may come their way.
Yeah. So the promise and the guarantee and the need has been solid and consistent for 132 years. But how is Boston Mutual or other colleague companies, how are they changing to meet the needs of the modern consumer? In particular, if I had my phone here, I'd pull that
Yeah.
out as a symbol of how things are changing or have changed.
And I've had the opportunity recently. It's a timely question, because I was speaking to our employees and some of our sellers recently about that, and I said, what's important to me is that we know who we want to be, we know who we want to serve, and we feel very good about that. We don't want to deviate from that, because I think the fact that we've been around 132 years, our purpose, our mission is still what it was when we were founded. I think the challenge for all of us today is not who we are, what we do, it's how we do it, right? So I think that understanding that how we deliver through a sale, how we represent our products in a simpler and less complicated way, so people can understand how we can help increase financial awareness and some financial literacy assistance along the way, I think is really important. And then making that whole process, I think more current. I think people have expectations now when they're buying something or they're getting service on something. And again, nothing's probably up to anybody's standards today coming out of the pandemic. But generally speaking, those expectations have changed, and we as an industry aren't necessarily just trying to compete with each other. We're trying to compete with all of the service providers out there. So the focus for us is how do we get more current and relevant, so that we create that level of customer experience that the people grow to expect today. And I think that's our challenge. I think that's a challenge we're responding to as a company, and I think we're responding to as an industry. And I think that's the next most important part of it. So again, don't lose sight of what it is we do, because I think that's really important. We talked about guarantees, delivering on promises. Don't lose sight of the people we serve. We don't want to abandon those folks. We want to stay true to the people that we serve, but just making sure that we stay relevant. And again, tell our story better. Tell our story. It's a good story, and I think it's a story that we can help people. We can help good people out there trying to do right by their families. We need to do a better job of making that story more available, and then making that experience easier. Yeah.
And what's the story for anybody in our community that might be interested in a career in insurance, or we'd like to get them interested in a career in insurance?
Yeah,
what do you say?
It's not the sleepy old insurance industry.
Yeah.
I have the opportunity, and we've done some work with some schools locally for us. And it's funny when you talk to graduates or young folks who are coming up on graduation, they often think that they want to get into these sort of glamorous roles, and reminding them that all of the elements of what they're talking about exist within this insurance industry. So, we today, when you think about where we are, I mean, obviously we have customer service needs. We have people who are involved with risk at all levels. I call it micro risk, underwriting and claims, and macro risk, looking at big pictures and make sure we're handling our business well. The finance and investment side of it, all these people who want to run to Wall Street, is a different world. We have opportunities there. Technology, project management, innovation, that all lives in our world today, and that's part of us getting better. It's part of us addressing this need to be telling our story better and be easier for people in terms of that customer experience. So all of those opportunities exist with really good companies that have purpose and mission, and I think for people today coming into the workplace, they want purpose and mission. I can't think of anything more noble than being there for people in their time of need. And so if that resonates with people, then I think this industry could be a great place to begin a career and to pursue that. And I think we're all focused very much on opportunities for personal and professional growth within that space as well. So I would encourage people to not discount us at face value, because it's that sleepy old insurance industry, but to give us a look, because I think those opportunities exist. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Well, I'll bring it back full circle. You're the chair of the board of the American Council of Life Insurers. On top of everything that you do running your company, you are giving time as a leader to the industry. Why is that important to you?
Well, I'm a big fan of this industry. I'm a big fan of ACLI and the good work we do. I think more than ever, Unfortunately, our industry is being challenged a little bit. I think our ability to do the good work that we do for folks, I think we're being lumped in with other industries as far as sort of the angst that exists in the world today. I think understanding that this is a long-term business, that we're not banks, that we're not focused on Wall Street, that most of us are focused on Main Street, I think is really important that we do that. And I think to ensure that we can continue to do the good that we do for the people we serve, and to really try to address those insured and uninsured populations that exist. And again, those are more Main Street people. To make sure we have the ability to get to those people is really important. And I think right now, um, I'm concerned about that. I think the reason that I've been engaged with ACLI is the work that the ACLI team does under your leadership has been remarkable in dealing with these challenges and threats to our industry. The fact that we are often lumped in with other industries that have issues that we don't believe we have, but we need to articulate that we don't, and why we think we're well positioned to continue to do what we do in the future, and how important that is to the people that we serve. I think the work ACLI is doing is more important than ever. It's always been important. I think the team that's been put together is better than ever. And I think that together, the industry itself, along with ACLI and its role on our behalf, really needs to be engaged to make sure we protect this very valuable asset to our customers, to our employees, to our communities. I mean, obviously, we're all committed to investing in our economy. We've done great work on that. We're also investing in our communities. The sort of charitable endeavors that take place, I think, on the part of this industry are notable. And so it's an honor for me to be in this role, to represent the industry, to work with ACLI, to work with you. And I'm optimistic that we're up to the challenge, but we have to stay engaged and make sure that we see this through and tell our story better. That's my story, is that we just need to tell a good story. Like I say, we talk about the goodness of this industry, and we need to tell that better.
Thank you for coming to Protecting Every Future's Kitchen Table to share your thoughts. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all of our community that's concerned about family financial protection.
Thank you.